Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving School.
Hello and welcome to Oh When the Town. I'm Luke Gregory and here's what's coming up today. It's another disappointing result at Kenilworth Road as Cardiff come to town and leave with all 3 points after an incredibly disappointing performance from Luton Town. Today we discuss that defeat in more detail. Why is it going so horrifically wrong at the moment? Or is it horrifically wrong? Are we overreacting? Although Saturday was pretty poor, wasn't it? We discussed that today. And also, is it time for change? Shall we give some of the younger players a bit of a run out in the team? Will that make performances better? And we also answer your Instagram questions and plenty more as always. And with me tonight, Dave and Bataro. That's how we doing, you all right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Not bad.
What is there to shout about right now? Not a lot.
Well, after a few QPR fans found our podcast last week and decided to leave some lovely comments on YouTube,
Yeah, fuck them.
we're ready to go again today.
And if you're listening again, go fuck yourself.
Brilliant.
There you go.
What a lovely start. Right, 3 road reviews of Luton 1, Cardiff 2. Mike says very dull performance. David says must improve soon. Graham says it was cold. Will, no midfield movement. Kieran says lack of desire. James says leaky defence. And Lee says it's becoming unwatchable. Richard, not one positive. It was cold, but it was
that's what,
it was
what I
cold.
was looking at. Yeah, let's
It
get
was
away
cold.
from the rest of them. Yeah, it was cold.
It was terrible Saturday though, wasn't it? It was atrocious, and it does feel like last week we were very negative about QPR, but I feel like this week we're going to try and not be as negative, even though it's going to be quite difficult. But
I think we could be more negative about this one, to be honest. Let's face it, because it was absolute shite. But yeah, we'll try our hardest not to be too down in the dumps about it.
yeah.
We seem to be saying the same thing week after week at the moment. I think we're all disappointed with the performances because we feel that we're a much better team than we're showing ourselves to be right now. And every game we make fatal mistakes. We say it again. You give away the goal, we give away the opportunity. We make fatal mistakes, and we don't capitalise when we have the ball. And it's happening every bloody week.
And like David said, must improve soon, and it will improve at some point. But just hopefully,
Well, we can't go on this
not at the
bad,
moment,
can
it's
it?
not
It can't go on playing as bad as we did.
Well, looking at our run of fixtures, it's not going to get any easier. Let's put it that way.
It's never going to be easy, is it? It's never easy. Everybody who looks at that league and go, "Oh, we've got a couple of easy games coming up." They're never easy because the people down the bottom are fighting for their lives. Yeah. The people at the top want to get into that promised land. You know, so there's never an easy game. Never.
I was saying to you, Batar, earlier on when you arrived here, that I think the most frustrating thing, right, because at the moment there seems to be this weird thing with Luton fans where it's like if some fans are moaning about the performance, you get these other group of fans like going, I can't believe people are moaning, it's not that bad. But I feel like we shouldn't just accept like bad performances like Saturday. And it's kind of like we are in a position now as a football club where we have beaten teams around us. Like we beat Middlesbrough a few weeks back and that was a brilliant result. Some of the wins we've had this season, we know we can challenge these teams. So I think it's fair to say some Luton fans are disappointed with results at the moment because we know we can turn up and do Cardiff.
Well, of course we can. We could do a lot better than what we've shown, like you said, in the last few weeks. But I mean, that performance Saturday, like, firstly, was not acceptable. It was dreadful. I mean, you know, like we try and be as positive as possible and try and look at certain things. But I'll be honest, even though I can't even pick one positive out of that. But like you say, we know we can compete with teams. It's not all doom and gloom. It's not the end of the road. Well, nowhere near. And if people think that, then obviously they're a bit deluded. But no, look, we will get better. But let's stay with where we are at the moment. And at the moment, it is not great. It's far from where we can be. And we know this.
And going back to your point, Luke, where you talked about what people are saying, you know, some people are disappointed with results because they expect too much maybe. And then you always get the reference back to look how far we've come. Yeah, we've come that far and we've done really well and now we've got to consolidate it. So at some point you've got to stop. You've got to stop that referencing and push on forward, haven't you? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
So,
of course.
you know, I'm grateful for being in the Championship. I'm grateful that we're hopefully going to be not have an issue staying in it, but we have to look forward now. Stop looking back. Start looking forward.
Almost like I said, I just think when you look at the performance on Saturday compared to the Coventry performance when we smashed them 5-0, and you think how many worlds apart them two performances are, with similar players on the pitch as well.
Yeah, that was on Tuesday night though, wasn't it? Or Wednesday night, whatever it was.
But
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I feel like there's some Luton fans out there that if you say Saturday was poor, you get another bunch going, well, you can't moan, or how...
Well, I think every
You can't
fan has the right to
satisfy
moan,
them,
don't they? Every fan has the right to moan. You pay your money, you turn up, and you take your opinion on the game, surely. Every fan has the right to moan if they feel that's right. I tweeted something out at the weekend, and I got a real curt response from one person, basically telling me either Luton or you're not. And I'm Luton through and through, and I've been there for a long time. But you know, he's entitled to his opinion, as is everybody else. So if you don't think it's if some players say or some fans say you shouldn't moan, that's their opinion, isn't it? But you have the right to criticise and praise your team as you feel fit.
But like you say, it hits some people like in a different way. Like you say, compared to how other people might look at the game or how Luton are performing or whatever else. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Dave might look at him and go, "Oh, do you know what? Been there, done it. Obviously, you had 20, 30 years experience more than we've had." We might look at it and go, "Fuck me." Do you know what I mean? We're not used to this in like certain aspects of the game.
The way I look at it, right, is that if it sounds like we are moaning on this podcast, I feel like it's only because we know that as a football club we are much better and we can do much better. And it's not because we want to have scapegoats or we love bashing the team. It's because we know as a football club we've performed better than we did on Saturday.
Hey, listen, 90% of the people that listen to this would have been in the pub afterwards or gone home afterwards and they'd been moaning about that
fucking
game.
Whinge,
yeah, they've been whinging about
going
the game.
back to their missus and fucking drinking 3 beers and going mad and this shit.
It was
going back to their husbands.
Hey?
Or going back to their husbands.
Sorry,
yeah. Partners.
Yeah, there you go. Partners. Apologies, yeah.
Should we talk about the game then?
Nah. Let's talk about something else.
5 changes from the Nottingham Forest game in midweek, which, by the way, with VAR, Adebayo's penalty would have been retaken. That's a story for another day. I spoke to you, Bitar, about this earlier. Were you surprised to see Sluga straight back in, despite how well James Shea did midweek?
Well, you know how I felt Saturday. I would have liked to seen James Shea given another chance. Clean sheet. All right, didn't have much to do, but, you know, what he did have to do, he did it right. Nothing against Sluga, but I feel like we have 2 goalkeepers and James Shea was called in and he did a great job. Why not keep him in? But look, on the flip side, people want to see Sluga back and he's a number 1 choice, whatever, but what's the point sometimes having a second choice goalkeeper, you're not going to play him?
Yeah, I feel James Shea might have been disappointed to be literally just brought in for that one game, have a solid game, pull off a brilliant save from Lyle Taylor in that second half, and then it comes today and Sluga's okay to play.
Yeah, of course. And I was there as well. Do you know what? I thought he had a really good game. His position was great. He was talking. Fair play to him. But
that's nothing against Sluga, though, is it? That's just being
against
fair to James Shea. Must be looking at and going, what else have I got to do to start a game?
How many teams do we see in the Championship as well that rotate their goalkeepers or whatever when they've had like a couple of games or... All right, okay, sorry. I'll take that back. Not many, but you do see it from a couple of teams. They rotate and then they'll keep him for a couple of games and give him a little fair run out. And we're still paying the guy a wage at the end of the day. So why can't we play him? I mean, he's trusted. We trust him. He's never done nothing wrong to the club or anything wrong to himself.
He'll get another chance for definite. He will get another chance for definite. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's not Saturday.
But it's not a big deal anyway. But yeah.
So you wouldn't be surprised if it's not Saturday?
I wouldn't be surprised if he does get a chance on Saturday. That's what I meant. I didn't say it right, did I?
Oh, okay. No, I got a little bit confused.
Yeah, I got confused too. But you know what I was trying to say, Luke.
Yeah,
it's an age thing.
Some other changes then for the weekend. Producer Jacob normally notes down the changes here, so he hasn't today. So I remember Clark came in, didn't he? Ray came in. Bell was back, I think. But it did feel like there was a lot of changes, and it kind of felt like after that end to the Forest game, maybe it was because it was midweek and he wanted to freshen it up. It just never really just clicked, did it? It just never really got going. We never really started well, and we were 1-0 down after 10 minutes, and yet again, it's a cross into the box. and it's from that right-hand side, which we saw against Middlesbrough, which we saw against Stoke.
It's funny, actually, because I read today that Nathan said we don't concede that many crosses, but when we do, we concede from them. He doesn't, and I'm thinking every time they put a cross in, they score.
Well, I wouldn't be able to tell you the stats, but yeah, it seems like recently that's the case, doesn't it, really? But, I mean...
Why are we conceding so many goals from crosses? Have we got to look at...
It was really shite defending.
Players getting tight, out wider, quicker? Have we got to look at maybe centre-halves marking their men in the box
You've
quicker?
You've definitely got to look at that for the first goal. I mean, Bradley, where was he, for instance, on that first goal? Shouldn't he be tracking the guy that put the header in?
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm not going to say it defending, but look, I think the whole way around the team, I mean, you've got to look at the closing down. Why has the ball got whipped in? Why is it only him back there defending? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that obviously it's not his fault, but
well, on that first goal...
There's a lot of phases to the play that you question, you know what I'm saying? It's not... It's whole, you know, obviously like saying...
Ultimately, when the cross comes in, your defenders are there to defend it. But if you're not in the right position, you're always going to... I mean, the guy was practically running around the back of everyone on his own when he put the header in.
The annoying thing about that first goal as well is the ball comes in from the left-hand side first, and it goes all the way through to a Cardiff player. He pulls it back to their right back. He puts it in again to the far post. It's like, we've allowed 2 crosses into our box there in the space of 10 seconds. I haven't dealt with it either time. And you look at the second cross that comes in, I think it's Pelly out with him, but it's just like he doesn't get tight enough to stop that cross. We haven't made enough effort to stop that cross.
We didn't make enough effort all game, and that was only 10 minutes in.
Yeah, it was piss poor.
It was terrible up to that point anyway. You know, they just wasn't firing at all. But you're right. He should have shut the cross down. Bradley should have tracked his man. And
then the header at goal does cross the line, and goal line technology confirming that. We just saw that on the highlights as well. It's harsh to blame. You can't blame Sluga for that, can you? He's done all he can to keep that out.
It's the mate, you can if anyone who blames Sluga in that situation, right, you're a fucking idiot. Because let's face it, seriously, because he's 3 yards out from goal, wherever he is, or whatever. Don't quote me on it, but if I've heard a few people say, "Oh, yeah, Sluga could have saved that." On the day, I'm thinking, if he could save that, you're worth £70 million straight away.
If your defender tracks the man, he doesn't get the head in. Simple.
But you see what
He's
I'm saying?
done well to get a hand to it, hasn't he? Let's be honest. It's just, I guess,
just
unlucky.
His arm's gone back to try and scoot back out the goal. I mean, look, be honest, if goal line technology wasn't there, he probably saves the day for Luton there. Let's face it, because it didn't look convincing on the day. Obviously, we've seen it back. Yeah,
miles over.
Clearly it was in.
Miles
Yeah,
over,
clearly it was in because the beep went off. We know this, but anyone who sits there and says that
you've got
keeper's fault.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone would sit there and say that. In all fairness, but what I'm saying is, well, that's why I'm saying it, because clearly it's not savable.
But Tara, you've got to look at your centre halves there. You've got to look at.
No,
You've got to look at the
that's what I'm
people
saying.
there.
That's what I'm saying. You've got to look at the defending. The whole. Why has he got the cross in? Why is your man not tracking Bradley, not tracking the runner or whatever?
Yeah.
Look, it's a whole sort of like the whole thing is stemmed from not closing your man down. The ball's gone in the box, bang, it's gone back across, it's gone back in. It's shy.
It just comes down to it. It's too easy, it seems, for the opposition to get them opportunities. How many times do we... I'm going to say how many times. I do remember quite a few goals of us putting balls in the box, but it feels rare that we do like a whip cross and a header. I think you prove me wrong.
It's the quality, isn't it? The quality sometimes.
We've lacked opportunities of that sort recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I said on Saturday? It just felt like a bit like the QPR game when attacking that. It felt like we just lacked someone to get their foot on the ball and have a bit of composure. And I guess when we finally did have that,
that was a lot worse than QPR. That was a lot worse.
Yeah, but I mean, like attacking wise, like QPR, it was very like we get into that final third position and our decision making is really poor and it's shooting from miles out or putting the wrong ball, playing the wrong pass. And I kind of felt like Saturday was a bit of that until our goal. Because there's nothing else really happened until our goal came along, which was a brilliant ball in from Cal Naismith. I thought he was pretty good on the weekend. Naismith put a few
probably
good
the best
in.
player of the day,
best player of the week.
Yeah,
Adebayo with a brilliant touch at the far post and pulls it across, and Clark's finished it. And from there, you're like, all right, we're gonna crack on from here.
Yeah, don't forget Clark's finish was great.
It's a brilliant
Yeah, it
finish.
was.
Really,
Close,
really
wasn't
good finish. I thought there was an excellent goal, and I thought from that point, you're right. I thought we can push on now, demoralise Cardiff, and get on them.
Yeah, I mean, we controlled, didn't we? Let's face it, the second half, we controlled them until we scored. As soon as we scored, it was just like, hang on a minute, let's set our foot off the gas again. Let's be predictable. And it was that. It was predictable.
So do you know what? Something that kind of frustrated me on Saturday when we equalised, and when I had a call with producer Jacob earlier, go through the podcast stuff, we spoke about this on the phone, and I said, and look, this is what I want your opinion on, you listening right now. You leave a comment or go onto Twitter and social over in the town. If you were a Cardiff City defender, right, and you've just conceded that goal and it's 1-1, and you see Luton taking Harry Cornick off for Danny Hilton, you're probably sitting there going, I'll take that. Because I think the last thing you want as a Cardiff defender in that situation when Luton have just scored, maybe the crowd's as loud as it's been all game, and you've got Harry Cornick potentially running at you, that's probably the last thing they want. And we've just gone straight away, off he goes, on comes Hilton. They're probably going, we can deal with that all day long. You look at their centre-halves, mate, they can deal with players like that.
I agree.
Especially, yeah, of course.
I agree.
Yeah, no, look.
And that's no disrespect to Danny Hilton. I just felt that was the wrong substitution at that time. Maybe bring him on with 10 minutes to go, but I feel...
Maybe if you're 2-1 up, yeah.
Yeah. But I just felt at that time, for me, it was bizarre to sacrifice the pace of Harry Cornick and, maybe Cornick getting the ball out wide and bursting forward into that wing and, getting the crowd going again. And it's just like, for me, I love Danny Hilton, but that sub...
Yeah, I agree, yeah. I can understand what you're saying there, in all fairness. It's true. I mean, it's almost like you take your missile off and you put... That sounds horrible, put on a brick. Does that make sense?
A missile for a brick.
It's nothing like against him. I can't fucking use this thing either. What the fuck is going on?
He's trying to open a bottle of beer.
Yeah, it's not, you see what I'm saying, though? Obviously, I know what you're saying.
I'll do it for you.
Yeah,
But it's like even if we maybe brought on someone like, and this is what we're going to talk about in a bit, right? But if we're bringing on Mendes Gomez and he's got a trick and some speed in him,
yeah,
maybe Cardiff defenders then are sitting there going, all right, this is a proper game now. And I just felt like we made it too easy for them to defend that final half an hour. And for me, that really just sums up Saturday.
It was almost like Fred as well when he came on. Obviously, we all love Fred. And, sorry, Dave, that's embarrassing as well.
It's not happening.
No, it's not, is it? But we love Fred, right? It was almost like I said, predictability and obviously bringing on Hilton. Fred, every time he got the ball, it was the same thing. It was almost like it was drilled in, like, go and do this, go and do that. It was almost like the shape was there. But predictability was also there, the opposition. And it was almost like cutting in, try and whip it or try and play it back across. It was never ever, let's take the guy on down the line.
Do you think it's the formation that's impacting this at the moment? Do you reckon Fred's better coming on in that wide as a front three instead of coming back at wing back? Because he is at the moment, isn't he?
I don't want to see it. He played that for Wickham. And I'm not funny, Wickham probably played him there because they would defend him majority of the time and then counter-attacked. We've got far more quality than what Wickham had to play him in that position. Look, like I say every fucking week, I'm not a football manager. Nathan knows what he's doing, but...
Well, he didn't know what he was doing Saturday because he's admitted that. He's admitted that.
Clearly not.
I can't think of one part of the field that we were dominant in. No. Where was our midfield at the weekend too? It wasn't...
Do you know, I'm going to say something like I said to you earlier. This might, people might disagree with this, but I thought Glenn Ray was up there. People going about, obviously, Jordan Clark man of the match and whatever else. I can't see it. I can't see anyone really. No one really stood out for me. But, one player that goes under the radar a lot was Glenn Ray. Glenn Ray won the ball back a fair few times, done his job. But obviously, he's not going to get recognised because, we've lost 2-1 and whatever else. But, the amount of times he cut the ball out and whatever else. Maybe I was, looking at a different game. But from where I was sitting, it was... Dave, you not done that?
No, I can't do it.
For fuck's sake.
Well, in the 76th minute, Cardiff scored and made it 2-1. Another cross from the left-hand side this time. It seemed like there was a bit of blame going on in the box from what I saw. It looked like to me that Naismith was moaning at Sluga, but you can look at Sonny Bradley and in the replay of this goal.
Shut the cross down. Shut the cross down.
It's poor, isn't it, from from us again. It's another poor goal to concede.
Yeah, but he's done it. Shut the cross down. Shut the cross down. We've saying it. We say it all season.
Yeah.
Stop the cross. The goal doesn't happen. You know.
But Sonny Bradley, I feel when you watch that back, can go maybe with his right foot or even his left foot and poke that out for a corner. And he can do that, can't he?
The thing is, like, I know 100%, but. And by the way, this is not me going, oh, yeah, you know, you can't blame Sonny Bradley, but...
It is, though, isn't it?
No, it's not. No, because I'm Dave, I'm agreeing with you and Luke, right? But what I'm saying is, the communication between the back... Well, at the time, it was the three, wasn't it? Where was the communication? Was there a shout from anyone? That's what I'd like to know, but at the same time, someone needs to take control. Like you say, Sonny, take control, put the fucking ball out.
The only players attacking the ball were Cardiff City players then.
Yeah.
It
was a sham. It was,
and it was easy. Once that ball was bouncing in the area, no one was going for it. It was the easiest header that guy will ever have to make.
It was terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, again, Sluga couldn't do anything. I don't know if Naismith was indicating that Sluga could have maybe come out and collected that, but again, it's one of them ones that's it's probably harsh to blame Sluga, and we're not going to blame Sluga, but be interested to know what you think.
I've seen several people blame Sluga for not claiming the ball. I mean, on the day, I just looked at it. I mean, it was directly in line with us, wasn't it? Let's be fair.
I tell you what, with Sluga, right, I did notice at half-time we went up the other end and near the Kenilworth end and a cross come in. He comes out, no one around him, punches it. And you just hear everyone in the Kenilworth Road end just catch it. And
I was one of them people.
Yeah.
In all fairness. No, I'm
dodgy,
why was you up the other end, by the way?
Went to get a beer, mate.
Beer.
Oh, fair enough then.
And then basically to cap off another below average performance, James Bree shot high and wide into the Kenny, which really frustrated me and the rest of the stadium. And then...
Are we going to skip over...
Sluga comes up for the last minute corner and it goes straight out for a goal kick. And that, for me, was the nail in the coffin, the final nail. And I just left.
You left?
It was full time after that, weren't it? I wasn't watching their goal kick go out and then blow the whistle.
It's disgraceful, mate. You should stay to the end.
Set pieces were poor on Saturday, I thought. All day.
Delivery from Bree was poor from every set piece he took. Without question. Can't think of one.
And I was sat here earlier going, yeah, but it was the wind. The wind took the corner.
Well, actually, to be fair,
I think a few times the wind didn't help. But look, you got, you know,
they just weren't. They weren't at the races at all. None of the team were at the races. And Nathan's come out and said it's his fault for picking the wrong team. Well, then pick the right bloody team next time, and then we'll do better, won't we?
Yeah,
it's disappointing. It's very disappointing because, again, as we keep saying, we know we can do better, and I know that every fan knows that we can play better than that. It's just frustrating, really frustrating. And we want one of those games where you get on top of the team and start scoring. I mean, because I don't even feel that we're going to score when we go forward at the moment.
No, I mean, not at the moment, no. But
well,
does that not? Sorry, does the whole 3-5-2 not contribute to that as well? When you're playing, obviously, 3 centre halves, a holding midfielder, and then two wing backs. That's what work it out. 3.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Maybe just to see a bit of a change of formation and maybe just. I think you said to me earlier. You said, and you saw a comment on Twitter about this, that why does it seem like we're trying to stop the opposition from scoring instead of going out and just playing our game we know we're good at? And maybe that's like you're looking at back when we beat Coventry and we scored 3 against Swansea and we beat Middlesbrough. That we just played to the best of our ability.
I'm just finding us a little bit negative at the moment. I'm just like I said, there's 6 defensive players or whatever, 5, 6 defensive players on the pitch. Why? I mean, and you
set yourself up not to lose. That's what he was doing, wasn't it? He didn't want to lose.
Yeah, but why? We do it so much. It might work against certain teams like Millwall and whatever, but come on, man, let's go for it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I can't sit here and go, oh yeah, this and that. But look,
also
at the same time, let's go and put 6, 7 attacking players on the pitch, or play a back 4 and whatever else, and then rotate the midfield. Let's get some creativity on the pitch.
And we always talk about Kenilworth Road being a great place to play and the atmosphere brilliant, but at times on Saturday it was a bit like a library. Flat. It was awful.
Yeah, and I'm not funny as well. With all due respect, well, no respect, but Cardiff, they're shite. How bad does that make us look on Saturday? They're not a good team. They're really, really bad. They're not a good team at all.
Cardiff are becoming a bit of a bogey team for us since we've been back in the Championship. A bit like Stoke. We haven't beaten them yet. 5 defeats from 5 games against them.
Mate, they're all full of fucking giants. 6'6" and whatever else.
Yeah.
If you can't get around 6'6" giants and whatever, then well, I don't know.
Well, let's move on to talking about what potentially needs to change going forward. And is it time to give some younger players an opportunity? So when I was chatting to producer Jacob about this earlier, we were just talking about maybe, is it time, like when we're on a poor run like this, to give some younger players an opportunity? Players like Thorpe, and I know Kyoso's obviously out on loan, but potentially could come back in January. Pereira, Mendes, Gomez. What would the harm be in maybe like if we're in the 60th minute and we're losing, just trying something new and bringing on someone like Thorpe or Pereira or Mendes, Gomez?
Yeah, I mean, bringing them on, yeah, fair enough. I mean, but, you know, you've got to be careful with these players as well at the same time. They're still young. You don't want to bring them in, you know, straight away, chuck them in the deep end and, you know, something go wrong for them, because that could also dent confidence and whatever else. But I understand what you're saying, but I still think we've got enough for what we're doing at the moment. But no, I would like to see, you know, a couple of the younger players in the squad. Like I say, Mendes Gomez, where's he gone? He's gone missing.
I just think, like I said Saturday, with the substitutions, if you're going to take Harry Cornick off, if you're bringing on a player like, look, we've not seen loads of Pereira, but from what we have seen of him, he looks like he's going to be a bit of a player. Why not bring him on and give him a go? Maybe a bit more unpredictable than a player like Danny Hilton. Do you not understand?
Yeah,
like,
and the opposition probably less.
What I'm saying?
Opposition probably less aware of his ability.
Yeah,
and his speed. So I would go with that. Yeah,
that's what makes players sometimes as well, isn't it? Just coming straight in, whatever. No, I agree. You know, obviously, like I said, but with obviously players coming, you don't want to chuck them in the deep end, but, you know, bring off the bench and whatever else. Mendes, Gomez, like I say, obviously, no idea where he is. Pereira's, is he out on loan still, or has he come back?
he come back because he got injured, I think,
yeah.
but I'm not sure if he's around the squad at the moment. But
And Thorpe, another one. I mean, we brought in Thorpe. I mean, highly, you know, talented player apparently from Tottenham Hotspur.
yeah.
Never seen him.
Never seen him. Yeah, that's true. You've said to me in the past, though, if they're good enough to start, they would. You know, when we talk about young players coming in, and you know, and for instance, how old was Wayne Rooney when he did his debut for Everton in the Premier League? If they're good enough to play and to start, then the manager would normally recognise that and put them in, wouldn't they? It'd be exciting to see some new people in this team.
But you've also got to understand from the other point of view as well. You can understand why he's sticking with the experience.
Well, we've got a really strong squad.
yeah, 100%. But I think for me, in that situation on Saturday where it's 1-1, imagine then you go, you know what? We're going to bring on Mendes Gomez. We're going to bring on Pereira. We're going to go them
for
two
it.
on the wings. We're going to go Adebayo and Cornick up top. And you just then suddenly go, you know what? Cardiff back four now are going, crap, that's going to be a tough last 30 minutes because you can have all the Luton fans on my back. And I just feel like that would have created a different... And we would have been excited by that. If they were bringing on players like that, we would have been like, you know what? Fair play. That's proper excitement. That's bold. It's brave.
I was very polite, mate. Crap.
I know. I didn't want to...
Oh, crap.
I didn't want to drop a swear word there.
Nah, fair play. But no, like you're saying, yeah, it's pace, it's lively, but yeah, maybe, you know, obviously we've got to trust at the moment. But no, like you say, we need to, hopefully he will bring them back in, or some of them back in at some point. Maybe put a couple on the bench, and then we'll see. It's not like we have any competition really that we can watch him in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, last season we had the Checker Trade. Sorry, a couple of seasons ago now.
3 years,
Christ.
mate.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, 2-3 seasons ago we had the Checker Trade Trophy that we would watch these players in. We could see him. All we've got now is obviously the FA Cup, mate. Third round, depending on
Who we get,
yeah,
depending on who you get. If you get a bigger team, then I'd expect him to put a strong team out.
But it's obviously more risk, isn't it? I suppose for Nathan, that's what he's looking at. He's looking at risk rather than sort of like, you know.
What risk was there on Saturday not to play a younger player, like we just said? What risk was there? We were losing. You know, there was...
Well, maybe not off the bench, but I mean from the start.
Oh, from the start.
Yeah.
Well, you know, sometimes you get forced into those decisions, don't you?
But at the same time, we've also got to remember that we've had these players since the beginning of the season have also done a good job up until sort of like the last few games or so. We know that these are players that we've got at the moment are playing. We know they can do a job. We've seen them do a job this season. How many games in we?
I just feel we're very predictable when we're chasing a goal and we bring on Jerome and Hilton. I just think it's just so predictable.
Well, yeah, that's
because that's just we're not giving them a service. I agree. You need something exciting, something's fast, and somebody that...
And that's what I mean. Like, if you're bringing on these younger players...
Yeah.
And I'll sit there, I'll be the first one to say to you, Luke, I mean, we spoke about earlier, I mean, like, no offence to Cameron Jerome, but I don't want to see him come off the bench.
You don't want to see him on Monday Night Football analysing QPR derby.
I mean, what's he doing on there? I mean, he's probably earning more money doing that at Luton, and he's also getting paid a wage at us, but, you know what I mean, what's he doing? Fuck's sake, but come on.
One that seems to be getting a very mixed reaction on social media at the moment is potentially bringing Kyoto back in January if possible, as competition for Bree, or maybe even ahead of Bree, because I think it's evident that Bree at the moment is a guaranteed starter because we've got no other right back, and it's like, is it that's the case of we need a bit of competition there for Bree?
Look, I'm never ever anyone. I'm never the first person, or by far means I'm not going to slate Bree. But every position, every player needs competition in the same area that they play, because if you have no competition, I mean, you could put Clark there, for example. If you have no competition, I mean, you know, you're not losing your place. Let's face it. But
Clark did very well at right wing back last year, didn't he?
He did. But look, I won't say I'm a massive Bree fan, but I like Bree. I think he's had a decent season up till more recently, but it would have no harm. There'd be no harm in bringing Kyoto back, or anyone to change anyone's position, because you know when someone's challenging, it gives them a rocket up their arse, doesn't it, so to speak. And why not? What do you reckon, Dave?
Kyoto will be a Luton player again at some point, I would imagine, whether it be January or not. If he carries on performing the way he's performing at Milton Keynes, then there's no way we're going to let him have him.
No.
So yeah, we'll get him back, give him some competition.
I think
he's not the key to everything, is it?
No, but this is why I get frustrated as you see Luton fans on Twitter saying, "Oh, you know, Kyoto's not the answer. He's not the key." Or for me, it's just like, why not try something different if you can? Like, obviously, I know right now we can't, and we have to wait until either January or the end of the season. But I just think if he's a younger player, and like, I'm not having people as well going, "Oh, well, he's only in League One at the moment." That doesn't mean anything. Like, we bought Adebayo from League Two and threw him straight in, and now look at him. Like, I'm not having that. We played James Justin against Villa
as well,
in the League Cup, and look at him.
Exactly.
I'm not having anyone say, "Oh, he's only playing." He's playing for it. I hate to say it, and you'll hate me to say it, but they're doing good in League One. They're doing very good in League One at the moment.
You can't get away from that. You can't get away from that. You've got to ask yourself also, though.
Leicester signed James Justin when we were in League One. Let's remember that as well. Like, and now he was a starter in the Premier League.
No,
so
100%.
This player, just because he's in League One,
Kyoto wants regular football.
I would never say that though either.
Kyoto obviously wants regular football. That's why he's gone to Milton Keynes. He's getting out every week. Agents will play a part in his career as well, as we know.
Good old Carly Osborne.
But the agents will play a part in his career. They will encourage him to move if he's not getting real game time. That's what will happen. So if he comes back to Luton to play for Luton and he's not getting out every week, he'll be off again.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was to leave, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. Hopefully, if he does, we get a fee
you know
for him.
something we don't?
I just know that he wants to play football. That's the main thing I know.
Obviously, I mean, mate, let's
well,
face
exactly
it.
that though. If he comes back,
he wants to play football.
If he's come back and he's got to then compete for his place in a different manner, why wouldn't he go play football?
Anyway, let's move on and read your comments about, is it time to give younger players an opportunity and what needs to change? Kieran says, it's time to play the system 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 that dominates teams, rips them apart and allows our better players to truly shine. 3 at the back is okay, but recently it's not working. Players like Cal need to be further up the pitch. Fred is wasted at left wing back. Campbell and Lansbury are best midfield 2 we have. I was surprised not to see either of them start at the weekend.
Well, yeah, especially Campbell after Tuesday night as well. I'll be honest, like, I personally thought, I mean, Steve said the same thing. Campbell was our best player on Tuesday night. I really feel that. I mean, Campbell and Naismith. But look, we know.
And Jones said he's got it wrong. He shouldn't have made so many changes. Yeah. So maybe if Jones could go back in time, he would have started Campbell. And
the thing is with Lansbury, right? I can understand why Lansbury doesn't start every week. He'd probably be fucking sent off 4 or 5 times a season. Do you know what the thing is, right? Lansbury, I love Lansbury. He's a very good player, but he gets my fucking tits. He always gets a card and it does my nutting for the most stupid things. Do you know?
Say what you mean.
No, Dave. The thing is, right? If you're gonna take a player out when they're on the attack or whatever, you're 1-2 up or whatever else, fine, take a yellow card.
Yeah.
But you can take yellow cards for something stupid like kicking the ball away or, silly things. I mean, how old is a guy sometimes? Come on.
Yeah.
Like, how old am I? So I'm sitting here whinging like a little fucking bitch. But, I mean, how old am I? I'm 27, but I don't feel it. I feel like a fucking 13-year-old sometimes.
Explicit warning today, everybody on the podcast.
Excuse my language.
Dave says it's time to give some of the younger guys a try. Pereira looked great against Stevenage and never got a look in. There was one pass he played against I know it's only Stevenage, but there was one pass he played against them which like split their centre halves, and I was like, yeah, that's a good ball. Rich says, I wouldn't say it's time for the younger players yet. Our issue, I think, is Nathan Jones has become a little obsessed with clean sheets. Since Millwall, I think he's tinkered too much and focuses on stopping the opposition scoring, instead of like focusing on our strengths, like the attackingness of our team.
Well, I think we sort of touched on that.
Tony says, too many silly changes. We're making changes to accommodate other teams' weaknesses, whereas we should be playing to our strengths. I know there's a lot of games, but we have strongest 11. We need to play that, barring injury. I think we said that about Graham Jones when he was in charge, weren't we? That he was focusing too much on stopping opposition.
And this is what we was getting at earlier. That's what I was saying to you about this. I think that was a tweet or whatever it was. Was that a tweet? It must have been a tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin says, if anything, it seems like a lack of creative spark for Adebayo in particular to feed off. Berry's been missed and Fred doesn't really suit a wing-back role. Maybe switch to 4-3-3. We are really quite missing Berry at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah. I've always said it. Always said it.
I know, you've always said it.
Mate, Berry's
I'm not saying you haven't always said it.
Do you love Luke Berry as much as you love Bradley?
Oh, here we go.
Just asking the question.
Mate, I love them all the same because they're Luton Town players. And as long as they're Luton Town players, I will love them as long as they're doing a job. No, Jake, that's a bit harsh. But no, look, we know what they are. And we know they're good players. And the thing is, I feel sometimes like, for example, Berry goes under the radar. I know, for example, we had a little conversation at the beginning of the season about Berry and whatever else. See a few people I've had the conversation with, but Berry, you will not notice as much as some people, but trust me, he puts in the fucking work. He puts in the yards. I swore again, I'm so sorry.
Well, I'll be excited to see Luke Berry back on the team sheet whenever he's fit enough. And let's hope it's for Blackpool, and if not, definitely Fulham. Will says, I feel like putting some younger players on the bench is a good idea, as they would give us the individual energy to score, whereas the older players, they can be used to bring us that experience when holding on to a lead. I guess it's like you said, if we're bringing on Danny Hilton at 2-1, or Jerome, you can go, you know what, fair play. But it's like when you're trying to get that goal, is it too predictable bringing on Hilton and Jerome? Because they're pros that have been around for a while. They know how to be defended against. That was our point earlier.
You want some unpredictability, like you're saying, younger players, and obviously, the older ones, the older heads, know what to do. Like I say, it's pretty obvious. I'll spill my beer as well. That's ridiculous.
No, well done, mate. James says, need a plan B. If Adebayo and Cornick aren't getting any success against the back 3 or 4, we don't seem to get much, or if anything, from the game. Perhaps this is. Do you know, I can't read today.
Do you want me to read it for you, mate?
Yeah.
Who's it?
James, second from bottom. Go on, give it a go, because I can't read today.
Need a plan B. If Adebayo and Cornick aren't getting any success against the back 3 or 4, we don't seem to get much. If anything from the game, perhaps this in part due to our new style of pumping it long. I cannot do it, mate. I've had 5 beers. You've had none. Just get out. You know what I mean? Right. Should we try it again? Right. I'll read
Dave's
one
go.
line.
No, it's Dave's go.
No, it's my turn. Go on. Perhaps this is in part due to our new style of pumping it long. Brilliant when it works, but so boring when it doesn't. A far stretch from the days of a diamond.
Now an expression of the Elephant Man.
Do you know what though? He's got a point, hasn't he? We it seems like we don't know what to do if it doesn't work. We don't know how to change that at the moment. In the past we could say, we switch formations, we switch attacking, we switch size or whatever. But I think he's got a good point.
Just need a plan B. We just need to get out of this little.
We just need, do you know what? We just need a bloody win. If we have a couple of wins on the bounce, then things change again. We all get a bit more happier, don't we?
Nearly did against Forest, didn't we? That penalty.
Oh, did we talk about the stat that I think Cardiff haven't scored in the first half all bloody season?
We didn't even talk about that.
I literally put it on Churchy the other day.
Not all bloody season. It's just up to us. Yeah, how annoying. It can't go on. We will get a result soon that's going to be really positive, and let's hope it's the weekend.
Well, you know what the typical Luton thing is. We'll go to Blackpool and win. We'll get Fulham at home and do them like 3 or 4-0.
I hope you're right.
Or we'll concede in the 95th minute, or whatever, like we did like the other time.
Yeah. Well,
I think we always step up for the better teams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except
that's it. Maybe we're that good that we we take the foot off the gas. I don't know. No, compete
It's
against the best teams in the league,
inconsistent this season. It's inconsistent. If we get a bit more
It
consistency,
comes in blocks, doesn't it?
Yeah, we just. I'm glad we had
Don't win for
I'm
four.
glad we had a good start.
Yeah.
I'm glad that
I'm pretty. Well, we're all glad, Dave, because otherwise we'd be fucking down the bottom half of the table, wouldn't we?
Well,
At the moment,
thankful that other teams have had points deductions and God knows what else. But
just some consistency would be nice.
I genuinely don't think we should be in any trouble. We just need to get a couple of results.
That's the thing. Two wins and we're back out there again, aren't we? That's the mad thing about it.
Exactly. And if we
I don't get too downbeat about it. But
how many? What would you expect from Blackpool and Fulham overall? You're not expecting 6, are you?
4.
You'd be happy
3.
You'd be happy with 4 or 3.
Yeah.
Love 6.
2.
Do you know what? Even 3 points.
Would you take 2 draws?
Even 3 points. No, do you know what? Even just give me 3 points. I just want 3 points. I just want 1 win out of 2. That'll do. I don't care who it is against.
Which one would you prefer it to be against?
Blackpool.
You'd prefer to beat Blackpool?
Well, they're around us, aren't they?
It's closer. Yeah, it's closer.
Fulham are going to run away with the league. Look at them. I know. I don't want to sound like Nathan Jones, but they've got Mitrovic up front.
Well,
his wage is probably all of our players combined.
We need someone to crunch
joke
him
of a
straight
player.
away. You know what? If you could beat Fulham, then what sort of message does that give to our players? Bloody hell, we can beat the league leaders.
Yeah, and then we'll probably go the week after and lose to. No, I'm joking. But
Will you two stop being pessimistic? That's normally my job.
I'm joking, Dave. You know me, man. I'm not like that. So I just, we can beat any team in this league, and I know we can. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We can beat any team in this league,
Well,
and we will beat any team.
Just before you finish.
Allowing crosses against Mitrovic.
We're
but
done.
that doesn't matter because this time he's going to have like 4 chances and miss them all. So it doesn't matter.
Right,
we're going to score 1 goal.
Before we finish, what?
I noticed today that Loyal Luton Supporters Club are doing a Christmas do next week and raising funds for Brian, who was the fan at QPR. If you've got some time and you've got some money to spend, why not look it up?
Nice.
Good cause.
Good stuff, guys. That's all we got time for today. Then no time for Instagram questions today.
2 weeks running.
2 weeks running. I know. Sorry. It's just because we had a lot to talk about today. We had a lot to get through. Yeah. So we're back in action at the weekend away at Blackpool. It's another tough game, isn't it?
Do you know what? We should start having a prediction league between the 3 of us.
Oh, and let's do it now then. Go on. So,
I think we'll win 1-0.
Yeah, I'm going for a 1-0 win as well.
Well, I'm going to go for 3-1.
There you go. Let us know what you think. Blackpool Luton on Saturday. How's it going to go down? Thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening.
2-0.
Get us on socials over the town and we shall see you next week.